Hey everyone, it's Duval Pools here. I'm just coming at you today on Sunday with the Extreme Rules, the horror show. My predictions for the pay-per-view tonight on Sunday, July 19th at 7 p.m. on the WWE Network. There's so far 7 matches scheduled. Whether they add one to the pre-show or not, I don't know. But right now, I'm only going to do the 7 matches that I know of because they took the Sheamus and Jeff Hardy Barroom Brawl off till next week's SmackDown for the ratings. But, yeah. So first we'll start off with the one that was added, I'm guessing on SmackDown this Friday night. I didn't watch all of SmackDown, but the tables match that they added for the WWE tag team titles. The match is the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Big E versus Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. The New Day hasn't really done anything with the tag titles this time, but they've been champions a lot, and Xavier Woods is hurt, and I think that they should really just, pull the switch and make Big E turn on the New Day and maybe possibly feud with Kofi. They should have did it when Kofi was the champion, so Big E, could possibly have won the title or at least got that main event credit. But I think that my prediction is I think Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura are going to win somehow. Maybe, Sami Zayn will return and cause them, to lose. Or they'll just get lucky, or they'll just beat them straight up. I mean, it is a tables match, so there is no disqualification. But, yeah, I'm going with Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura just because since Shinsuke had the other the U.S. title and stuff, he hasn't really won a lot, and it hasn't won a lot of titles. So I think they just need to keep his credibility up. I personally don't, really care for Shinsuke. I do like Kofi, I do like Cesaro, I do like Big E, but yeah, I'm going with Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura for the tag titles to win the tag titles tonight. The next match is for the U.S. title, and it's Apollo Crews versus MVP. MVP was away from the company for a while. He finally returned. He was supposed to be like, I guess, an on-screen character manager role, but he's been there a lot. Lately, he's been wrestling more, so that's it's pretty nice. MVP has kidnapped this title. I like the new title design. He actually has been holding the title hostage because Apollo's been, I guess, out or kayfabe, injury till the pay-per-view. I actually think they should have went with a Apollo Crews and Lashley fight for the title, because even if MVP does win tonight, he's probably going to cheat. He's probably, Lashley would probably interfere or, something of that, matter, which it would have been better for Lashley to fight Apollo Crews, and maybe Lashley would have won, but, it's actually just Apollo and MVP, so my prediction is usually when they do this type of thing, I'm picking Apollo Crews to retain the U.S. title. I think that he's going to overcome the odds. The only way I see MVP winning is if just, like I said, interference of some kind with Lashley to help him win the title. The next match on the card is the SmackDown Women's Titles match. which is Bayley versus Nikki Cross. She's been the champion for so long now. It'd be cool for Nikki Cross to win, and get that push that she wanted, but I felt that they should have actually let Lacey Evans beat her a while back and pull the trigger on her. But since they didn't, I still see, Bayley retaining here. I do like Bayley. She's one of my favorite women's wrestlers. I don't see Bayley losing because they're probably setting a potential split between her and Sasha, and either they're going to fight at SummerSlam for the title or down the line or so. So my pick is Bayley. Speaking of that match, since the Bayley and the Sasha Banks thing, the next match is the Raw Women's title, and that's Asuka, the champion, who was gifted the title from Becky Lynch because she was pregnant, versus Sasha Banks. Now, they could pull the trigger and let Sasha Banks win, and then they're both champions. Bayley and Sasha Banks will both be champions on the shows, and they'll be the women's tag team champions. So they would have, 2 titles apiece. That would be kind of cool, but I hate when I hate it when the people have all the belts and they don't spread it out like that, the talent-wise. And then one person has like 3 or 4 championships. That's kind of crazy. I know it seems cool, but I'd rather just let Asuka retain, I guess, here, and then have Sasha. Like I said, Bayley tried to help her and have Sasha turn on her, and then they feud and have a match for the title, for SmackDown's women's title, on the SummerSlam pay-per-view. The next match is the most gruesome one. It's supposedly supposed to be an eye versus an eye match, or eye for an eye match, but Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio. That match seems kind of crazy. It's probably going to be a cinematic, either that one's going to be cinematic or they are just going to do it live. But I know there's at least going to be one cinematic match on this pay-per-view, because even if this one's not, probably the Bray Wyatt versus Braun Swamp fight will be cinematic. So the eye versus eye match, you have to actually pull the eye out, which is kind of weird. Obviously, Rey Mysterio wears a mask, so it's easier for them to, kind of trick people and do, some with props or whatever, special effects with him, since he has a mask on. And, I think they're pushing to a Dominic debut match versus Seth Rollins. Ray really needs a win because he has been losing and putting people over. They could give him the win, but I'm going to pick Seth Rollins to win this match to set up the feud with Dominic, and then have his dad, have Rey Mysterio out for a little, where he couldn't wrestle, and just have one eye, an eye patch or something, and then have Dominic just, have a feud with them, and then probably have a Buddy Murphy and Rollins versus Ray and Dominic, or Dominic and Aleister Black. I don't know, since they involved him in the feud. The next match on the card is the Wyatt Swamp fight, which obviously, like I said, it's going to be a cinematic fight. Sorry, I'm driving. I think that this is going to be a cool match. That it's going to have a lot of special effects and probably, jump cuts and all these type of cuts and stuff. My honest opinion, this is honestly just a filler match, just to make something cool for the pay-per-view, because they're probably setting up The Fiend versus Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam for the title, because it doesn't say this one's actually for the title. So I could see Braun either winning and then him just basically bury him, and then he, acts like, oh, I beat him, and then, the Fiend come back and act like his alter ego and act like he doesn't have no recollection of losing in the swamp, or Bray Wyatt will win this match, and then Braun gets pissed and then challenges him again, or Bray challenges him saying, I already beat you, or whatever, I want the title, and then he, gets the title shot at SummerSlam. I would love Braun to win. He's a good champ. I like they finally gave him the title, even though he did squash Bill Goldberg. I kind of wish Goldberg had a longer run with the title since Roman Reigns is out, but I'm going with Bray Wyatt to win this match somehow. Somehow I think he's gonna, pull it off. The last match on the card is obviously the WWE Championship match. Well, title match, either way, I don't know. The stipulation hasn't been decided yet, because Dolph Ziggler, I guess, said he wasn't going to do it till the day of the pay-per-view or right before the match or whatever. They already probably know what the stipulation is, obviously, since it's pre-written and pre-scripted and stuff. But it's Dolph Ziggler challenging Drew McIntyre for the title. I'm gonna tell you right now, I am a Dolph Ziggler fan. I have been Dolph Ziggler fan for years. I have loved every all his main event matches and stuff like that when he gets a push, because he steals the show, and he's a great wrestler. He's a great worker. He makes people look good. I am pissed that Vince, or not only Vince, but the writers and stuff, blame injuries, blame ratings, blame, all other type of bullshit, to where when he won the title, they took it off of him real fast because of a concussion that Del Rio gave him after he cashed the Money in the Bank. And then Edge, he lost the same night because he won it earlier because, the cheating, which is kind of crazy, because every time they pull the trigger on him and give him a main event push, they just don't do nothing else. Especially look back to the Survivor Series win that Sting helped him win versus the Authority, and then basically he didn't get no title shot or no championship run. It just basically just faded in the dust. But my heart's telling me to pick Ziggler, because I would love a Ziggler title win tonight. And then I don't care if he loses it fast back to McIntyre at SummerSlam or whatever, but I would love just for Ziggler to have the title again. The only way I see that happening is if he picks like a stipulation for a handicap match, which would be kind of weird, but I could see him picking that for him and Robert Roode versus McIntyre. Could be a cage match where Robert Roode could still come out and help him, and he could climb over and escape. Or it could be a no holds barred match, or no disqualification match, and he could cheat with weapons or whatever, and Roode's help too, just to win the title somehow. But my smart money pick is I'm picking Drew McIntyre to retain. He has a lot of momentum. He's a great champion. They finally pushed him and let him beat Lesnar. It just sucks. There's no way, I don't think they're going to take the title off him right now. Especially, no offense, losing to Dolph Ziggler wouldn't hurt him, his character-wise, but especially if he got cheated out of the title. But I would just still, I don't see it happening. Unless they could swerve us and Lesnar could return, in a no holds barred or no DQ match, and F5 him and get payback for, him taking the title from him and stuff, and Royal Rumble, and cost him the title to Ziggler. And then, SummerSlam they have a triple threat match for Ziggler, Lesnar, and McIntyre. It's in that case I could see them obviously either letting McIntyre win it back from Ziggler, or they would have Lesnar reclaim the title, and you would get another program like that, or have a part-time champ for another year like they usually do. But yeah, that's all for my predictions. Like I said, I'll do a fast recap of the winners that I'm picking. McIntyre, Wyatt, Asuka, Bayley, Seth Rollins, Apollo Crews, and Cesaro, and Shinsuke Nakamura. And if they did have that barroom fight, I was going to pick Jeff Hardy to finally win, because Sheamus has gotten the wins over him. So I would have picked Jeff Hardy, but I'll do predictions for SmackDown next week, later on in the week. And I might have a card pool video later on today as well. I didn't do the UFC predictions because I really didn't, I wasn't interested in those fights, and I didn't really even watch, the fights. So I was watching baseball, the exhibition, the Mets and Yankees game. But yeah, that's all for this video. Like, subscribe, leave comments. If you have any questions, leave comments of your predictions or your storylines you think will happen, or anything like that. And I'll see you on the next one. This is Duval Pools, and I'm out. Have a good day.